Get started. All right, good morning, everyone. It's progress meeting 13 for the Donovan Smith Mobile Home Sewer and Water Extension Project. We've used 385 days on the project. There's 245 days remaining on the 61% of the time used. I didn't have a percent completion because I didn't have a pay app in, but if I had to guess, we're probably in the 30 and 35% complete. And again, I've explained in other meetings why that's a little off, and that mostly has to do with, having notice to proceed in February, but the work not starting for various different reasons till late May, early June. Since they've started work, the progress has been pretty consistent, and I believe we're still going to have the project completed, by the completion date. There's a schedule that was submitted, I think it was late December of this year, updated schedule that's attached. I think we're still on schedule with that. So work completed since the previous meeting. There's 827 linear feet of 8-inch sanitary sewer. Manholes 32 and 33 were set. There was 547.76 feet of 6-inch sewer lateral. 44 cleanouts were installed, 33 Y branches, and 251.8 cubic yards of type B stone. So again, it was another good month in terms of productivity. And I did these calculations last month, and I did them again here for this meeting. So there's a total of 3,359 feet of sewer main in the entire project. The remaining, they've completed, somewhere around 2,200 feet. There's about 1,151 feet left. So based on last month's productivity, which increased from the previous month, they did 82 feet. That gives us 14 days left to complete the sewer main work in the entire project. That projects out to about 14 work days, projects out to about March 27th to be complete with the sewer main. There's about 46 cleanouts and laterals left. That they did about 7 laterals and cleanouts per day last month. That productivity increased from the previous month. So the projected completion for those would be April 5th, which is pretty much in line with that schedule that's attached there, as I'm finishing the sanitary sewer work early in April. And beyond that point, then the next thing that happen will be the water main installation. The water main should go a lot quicker. It's not as deep as the sewer main. There's not as much involved in terms of dewatering, et cetera. So the work to be completed in next month is the work that they're doing on Fairview and Forest. And I believe they'll be doing some sewer main testing of the sewer main that's been previously installed. Status of the water and sewer services and connections, still the same as last meeting. 20 sewer laterals have been installed, and 13 people, all in Cooper Circle there, have been connected. Same on the water services, 20 installed, 13 connected. On the SRF funding, Keith Cooker, the representative from Denrick, he actually called me just before the meeting, said he could not make it today. But I guess the relevant points there are the wage rates interviews that are required by the project. The initial interviews were conducted in August, and they'll probably have another round of interviews towards the end of the project. Teal has weekly been submitting certified payrolls, and GMB has been reviewing those. And all those have been in compliance with the wage rates required for this project. Payment applications 1 through 10, there's been 10 payment applications have been received by GMB, and I believe 10 now has been paid. They've all been paid by the Lewes Board of Public Works. There's no DelDOT items to report right now because most of the work, if not all the work, is in the community right now. There's no work involved with DelDOT, and there won't be until the end of the project when we need to pave Donovan's Road. Always just a reminder to the contractor that they need to call Miss Utility and the Lewes Board of Public Works 48 hours in advance of any excavations. Notification of residents. I know GMB and TL have been doing a pretty good job of letting people know when the work is going to be occurring in front of their house. And I think they've been pretty timely in giving people a heads up on that so that they could anticipate and make provisions for when that work is going on, right in front of their property. Communication with residents, media, et cetera. I think everyone in the community by now knows Mr. Hoffman and knows that he's the contact person and should go to Dwayne Hoffman first when there's any issues. And again, Dwayne has been pretty good in communicating with people and letting them know what's going on, when it's going to occur, et cetera. And the location of some of the existing utilities are not well known. There are not a whole lot of drawings for the existing utilities. So because of that, the contractor, both GMB and the contractor, we have no way of knowing when we're going to run into a water line. I believe last month we did run into a water line once again. And so, that's going to happen. I would say, as we're getting closer to the end of the sewer work, we're going to know where all those existing water lines are. And when we go and put the water main in, there should be a lot less of that occur, right? Request for information. We've worked long enough together with the contractor. They know that they need to submit those to me in writing. Safety, so far, great news. There's been no issues safety-wise, no accidents whatsoever. And we all want to keep it that way. And again, safety is the responsibility of the contractor here, and he needs to abide by all local, state, federal safety regulations. Submittals, I think, John, the only thing on submittals, I know we have roadway materials left when we get around to doing the paving. And then at the end of the job, we need to provide American Iron and Steel certification. Job site conditions and resident complaints, I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that to the discussion items at the end here. There were a couple that I'll talk about briefly in a few minutes. Inspector hours, there's a total of 3,500 inspector hours that has been delegated for the project. We used 171 since the last meeting. We're at a total of 1,036, and we have 2,464 hours remaining. There was one weather day since the last meeting that did not, I don't think that includes today, and I guess the forecast is not great for the remainder of the week, but one weather day since the last meeting, which gives us a total of 10 since the project started. Trench backfill, I've been reporting every meeting that the material that's being excavated in the course of doing the work is very good sandy material, and mostly all of that is used for backfill going back in the trenches. So there hasn't been a need for much imported backfill material. Status of contingency items. There no contingency items were used since the last meeting other than the utility crew rate, and that that's basically due to hitting that water main. So that's an unknown that couldn't be anticipated. So there were 3 hours required for the crew to make that repair. Johnny, just a reminder about red line drawings being required of you. So hopefully both, Matt and Dwayne are working on those daily. No change orders since the last meeting. There's just been the 2 change orders that on the project related to the services, change order 1 and change order 2. So discussion items, I know there was some existing shrubs that were located there in Fairview Circle, lots F8, E16, 17, 18. They were removed at the request of the contractor to help facilitate construction in that area. It's pretty tight back in that area. The contractor asked if that would be possible, and permission was granted from the Donovan Smith Mobile Home Community Park Manager. That all those, that vegetation was on, I guess, park property, and they gave the approval to go ahead and do that. Also, I got a complaint from a Miss Sharon Ash. She lives at 16316 lot B16. She registered a complaint Monday morning with me about ponding water on Grandview in front of her property. She also was concerned because she had some ponding up against the skirt of her unit on the side of her yard. I went out with Dwayne. We both went out, took a look at it. She had some photos from a rainfall last weekend, it was Saturday, and showed the ponding. And what I explained to Miss Ash, looking at the photos, it was a typical ponding in Grandview Avenue. At the low spot, there is a low spot there that has pre-existed this project, and water collects in the road. The water that was on her property is really coming from the adjacent lot. That adjacent lot's graded higher than her lot and flows horizontally. So there was no water coming from the road into her property. And she acknowledged that after we discussed it. And I guess the bottom line is there was nothing that this project was doing, that this contractor was doing, that was responsible for any of the ponding that she was complaining about. At the same time, I explained to her the plan for that area, which is to regrade the road at the end of the project. Will eliminate some, not all of the low spot. We're going to bring that road up as much as we can. And in addition, there's a good bit of storm tech drainage chambers that are going to be installed on the side of the road. And I forget the full length of that, but it probably spans almost 3 units wide across. I think she's B16, 17, and 18. The storm tech chambers are they're devices that allow the water to infiltrate in the ground. And she had asked for more information on those, and I had provided that to her. And told her that at the end of the day, we're going to improve that area, but we can't perform miracles. It's a low spot that just, there's only so much we can do, but the storm tech drainage chambers are going to really help with the infiltration of any water that does pond. So, by the way, we had that rain on Monday, and I went back out there Tuesday morning and did not notice a significant amount of ponding from Monday's rainfall. So that's the only complaint that I know about that's occurred in the last meeting. So with that, I'm going to go around the room and start here with Austin and see if anybody had any items for discussion, comments, etc.
Yeah, I'm good.
Robin,
I'm good.
Johnny? Dwayne's good. John?
I'm good.
Any of the residents? Sure.
If the bush is being removed by my place, will they put anything back there?
So I think that's probably a better question for the community manager. So, I mean, we could ask that question. I guess I could give a call to Vernon.
Because it leaves it really empty and everybody can see in from the other places.
So, and I think that'll be more of a call for the park manager, for Vernon and Mr. Donovan. And so we can have that discussion, but I would suggest you also, I don't know who your contact person is for the community. I would register your complaint with them and your request with them also.
I just have a question on the park manager. Do you know the person's name by any chance?
So I mean, our point of contact on site is Tony Garcia. I think you're familiar. And his boss is, I forget his last name, is Vernon. I forget his last
Yeah,
name.
we don't even know.
We never met him.
It changes monthly, I think.
So when you have issues in the park with anything, who's
We
your
usually
point?
go to Tony because
Tony,
we
yeah.
don't know who to go to.
So I would start with Tony.
Yeah.
You know Tony? Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, that's all. I just thought maybe if you had a name that to talk to.
So hang in there. Progress is good. And I know it's a little muddy and so forth. It's just that time of year, but things are gonna be, improving as the weather improves in terms of the roads being pretty sloppy and so forth. Just hang in there a bit. All right, and the next meeting is scheduled for April 3rd at 10 a.m. Sharon,
You're good.
anybody online? All right, thanks.
Thank you.